Welcome to TradePhlo, developed by Flow Systems. We are a HMRC-CDS ready system. In this video, I will take you through a step-by-step guide on how to submit an import declaration on TradePhlo. Step 1. Registration. Head to www.tradephlo.com and select Register in the top right corner. You will then be presented with a registration screen. Please fill out all details requested on the screen, ensuring you select a secure password. Once submitted, you will be required to verify your account via the email address you provided when registering. Upon selecting the verification link, you will need to fill out the following information: your company name, VAT number, URI number, full company address and postcode. You can then go back to the login screen and log into your account using the email address and password used at registration. Step 2. Adding user or company details. Once you have successfully logged into your account, you will be presented with the following screen. In order to add user or company details, you will need to select user from the menu on the left. The first screen will allow you to amend any user details. Furthermore, to add the details of the importer, exporter, or declarant, select company, then select add. You will now be required to fill out the following form, ensuring you put in as much information as possible. The following fields are mandatory: company name, URI number for all UK-based companies, company ID or trader identification number, company's full address including postcode, and the type of account this company will be holding, for example, importer, exporter, declarant. Once you have added all the relevant companies, you are now ready to create the declaration. Step 3. The declaration. Select the New Declaration tab from the menu on the left. This will take you to the following screen. In the top right corner, you are given the option to use existing sample data to trial and test the system. When completing an actual declaration, the first step will be to select the type of declaration you wish to make. You can select a type from the drop-down menu provided. You are then given the option to choose your own commercial reference or use the one that is randomly generated by the system itself. You will then need to fill out the party's information. The following fields are mandatory. Representation. You can select the representation from the drop-down menu provided. The declarant, the exporter, and the consignee. You will then need to fill out the transport details. The following fields are mandatory. Mode at border. You can select the mode from the drop-down provided. Dispatch country. You can select the country from the drop-down provided. Destination country. You can select the country from the drop-down provided. Transport nationality. You can select the country from the drop-down provided. Arrival transport type. Transport ID. This is a free text field where you can enter the relevant information. Finally, the goods location. You can select the location from the drop-down provided. At the bottom of the screen, you will see the declaration's unique consignment number, also known as the DUCR. The remaining fields are optional. Next, you will be required to fill out any financial information by selecting the Finance tab at the top. This will include the total invoice amount. The currency. You can select the currency from the drop-down provided. And the nature of transaction. You can select the nature of transaction from the drop-down provided. You can then complete the delivery terms and select the relevant Incoterm from the drop-down provided and the location. If you have any transport or insurance costs or any other additional costs, they can be added here. The next part involves adding the goods information. Select the Goods tab at the top and add a good. You can then enter the following information. The commodity code. When you enter the commodity code, the system will automatically take the information related to this commodity code from the gov.uk trade tariff. and autofill the description of the commodity code. The description field is a free text field. You can change the text to suit you. Furthermore, if you have any additional codes or supplementary units related to the commodity code you have selected, you can enter those here. Enter the gross weight, net weight and goods value. The value for the goods can be converted into GBP by clicking here. Now enter the country of origin, the preference code from the drop-down provided, the procedure code from the drop-down provided, and the additional procedure code from the drop-down provided. You can also add the valuation method which is relevant to your declaration. You can now enter the packing information. Select the package type from the drop-down provided, enter the number of packages and enter the marks. This is a free text field but must be filled in order to process the declaration. Moving on, the previous documents. This section is filled in by default and does not need to be altered. Finally, the produced documents. Here you can add any conditional statements related to the commodity code you have selected. You can select the document code from the drop-down provided, enter a reference and a status if required, or a reason if required. You can further add any additional information, if required. In this section you will be able to see any duty or VAT that is associated with the commodity code selected. You can now save and move to the final part of the declaration. Select the Customs tab at the top to fill out the final bits of information regarding customs. Here you can choose the payment method. The payment method chosen will be the way in which the tax or duty will need to be paid. You can add any authorizations. Guarantees. Or bonded warehouse information if required. The additional fiscal reference refers to the person who will be liable to pay the VAT or duty. You can select the correct code that applies and enter the VAT number. You can also add any additional information in this field, for example the RRS01 statement, and enter the reference in the field. Once all fields have been completed as accurately as possible, you can then select the Declarant tab for submission into HMRC. On this screen you are given two options. The first option is Submit Declaration. If you are confident with your declaration, you can select Submit Declaration and the declaration will be submitted straight into HMRC. Alternatively, you can select the second option, Submit Draft for review. Once you submit the declaration, you can view all your declarations by selecting the Declarations tab from the menu on the left. All declarations that you have submitted to HMRC will appear on this dashboard. You can see the declaration reference, trader reference, the date the declaration was created, movement reference number, MRN, the status of the declaration, whether it has been accepted, rejected or cleared, and progress reflecting the status. For any declarations that were submitted for review, you can view those by selecting Drafted Declarations from the tab at the top of the screen. The fields here are similar to the ones shown in Submitted Declarations. By selecting the Action tab, you can amend, copy and cancel a declaration. You can also view the SAD, C88, that has been generated from the declaration that had been submitted. Here is an example of a C88. It will state the movement reference number which can be used for GVMS purposes. And it will also state any duty or taxes that need to be paid. This brings us to the end of the video. For more information, head to www.TradePhlo.com or give us a call on 0203 443 9815. TradePhlo, helping your goods go.